So in the previous class, I was discussing about the elastic potentiality. So as I discussed in the earlier class, the work done by the elastic force exerted by the spring when the length of the spring changes is given by half k into xi square minus xs square. This is what I have discussed in the previous class, I mean the derivation part. So the work done by the elastic force by the spring, the work done by the elastic force exerted by the spring on the stretching agent or on the mass which stretches the spring is given by half k into xi square minus xf square. K is the elastic force constant spring. Should not mistake that xi as the initial length of spring. Xi represents the difference between the initial length of spring and natural length of spring. Here L0 represents natural length of spring. That means the length of spring when the spring is unstretched and uncompressed. That means L0 represents the length of spring when the spring is neither stretched nor compressed. So when the spring has its natural length L0, the elastic force by the spring becomes 0. Li represents the initial length of spring. So the spring has an xf represents the difference between the final length and natural length. Lf is the final length and Li is the initial length. So change in the elastic potential energy, or in general change in the potential energy of a system when the system passes from initial state I to final state F is equal to negative of work done by the conservative forces. So here the elastic force by the spring is a conservative force. You can observe that you need not copy this working which I am writing at present. I will show you the notes separately. Later you can start writing the notes. Let us suppose the spring is originally having its natural length. Let us suppose the mass m is pulled by some distance x from its natural length. Then released. Let us suppose the mass is resting on a smooth horizontal floor. That means when the mass passes from this position I, from the position A to the position B, let A be the initial position of the mass where the spring has its natural length. So here one left end of spring is connected to rigid support. The right end of the spring is connected to the mass M which is resting on a smooth floor. Let K denote elastic force constant of spring. So here Xi is 0 and Xf equal to X. Then work done by the elastic force by the spring is equal to half k into 0 square minus x square or minus half k x square. Now this is the work done by the elastic force by the spring when the mass passes from A to B. If you consider the situation from B to A, when the mass M returns back from B to A, and the initial position Xi should be taken as equal to X, and xf is equal to 0. That means work done the elastic force by the spring on the mass, and the mass passes from the position B to the position A will plus half kx square. So total work done by the elastic force by the spring on the mass m, when the mass m passes from A to position A to the position B and position back to A, that means when the mass m completes the round trip, it will be minus half kx square plus half kx square. That is work done from A to B plus work done from B to A. That will be 0. So work done the elastic force by the spring on the mass m, when the mass m completes the round trip, is 0. The elastic force by the spring is a conservative force. Change in the potential system is equal to negative of work done by the conservative force. So change in potential energy, we write UF minus UI. UI is the potential energy. Work done by the conservative force means work done by elastic force by spring, that is equal to half k into xi square plus xf square. Therefore, UF minus UI is equal to half k xf square minus half k xi square. So in general, if the spring is initial unstretched, if xi equal to 0 and xf equal to x plus or minus x, then the spring is stretched by distance x from its natural length. Then xi is 0, xf is equal to plus x. When the spring is suppose compressed by distance x from its natural length, then xi is 0, xf can be taken as minus x. That means the spring is either stretched or compressed by distance x from its natural length. Then xi is 0, xf equal plus or minus x. Xf will be taken as plus x when the spring is stretched by distance x from its natural length. Xf will be taken as minus x when the spring is compressed by distance x from its natural length. But xf square will be positive. Then potential energy in the final position minus potential energy when x is 0 equal half kx square minus half k0 square. We assume that the elastic potential energy stored in the spring to be 0 when x is 0. That means when the spring has natural length, elastic potential energy stored in the spring is 0. So in general, the elastic potential energy stored in ideal spring of force constant k is given by U equal half kx square. X is the difference between the length of the spring and natural length L0. So x square is equal to square of the difference between the length of spring and natural length L0. Whether you take x positive or negative, x square is positive. K is elastic force constant in spring, which is always positive. So elastic potential energy stored in the spring can never be a negative quantity in any problem we discuss in future. So elastic potential energy stored in the spring is always greater than or equal to 0. The elastic potential energy stored in the spring will be taken as 0 when the spring has its natural length L0. That is when the elastic force by spring is 0. Next, I am going to show you the notes for the same discussion. That means whatever I have discussed so far about the elastic potential energy, same thing I am going to again show you on the screen. I mean the notes part, the typed form of the same discussion. So those who are writing the notes now, again get ready with your notebook and pen. I am going to show you the systematic notes for the discussion I have done. Come on, put the heading elastic potential energy in your notes and copy the two diagrams. So the first diagram has shown the spring with its natural length L0. Even those who are not writing the notes, please listen. Again, it will be a summary of the discussion we have done so far. But I advise the students to write the notes, separate notebook for mic notes, so that they become more familiar with the subject only when they put it on paper, all the equations. because physics is not a subject like English literature or history where you have most of the time you may spend. Your preparation may be only by, you can do the preparation by reading the book. Of course, for any subject, as given as I think as advised by most of the experienced teachers, so writing practice will be always suggested for most of the students. That means you become more confident in any subject, not only physics, only when you write it once. And it's more required for subjects like mathematics and physics, and also chemistry. Writing part is more essential. So come on, copy the two diagrams. In the first diagram, I have shown the spring with its natural length L0. Left end of spring is connected to rigid support. We assume mass of spring to be negligible here compared to the mass of the body attached to the free end of spring. Now here in the second figure, the spring is stretched towards right by applying a stretching force. Fa represents the magnitude of the stretching force applied on the spring by the agent. Agent means the body or the mass which applies the stretching force on spring towards right. That is action. Fs represents the reaction force exerted by spring on the agent, which we call elastic force by spring. X is the elongation of spring from its natural length. So length of spring in the second figure is L0 plus X. Come on, copy down the two diagrams. In case you need more time to copy the two diagrams, you can take a pause and take your time. I am going to show you the notes for continuation to this. So when one end of an ideal elastic spring is connected to a rigid support, and if a stretching force is applied at the free end of spring, then at the instant when the length of spring changes by x from its natural length, elastic force exerted by the spring is given by Fs proportional to minus x, or Fs subscript s equal to minus k. So F subscript s denote the magnitude of the F subscript s represent the elastic force by the spring. So when you consider magnitude of elastic force by spring, k into modulus of x, right? Here negative sign is used to indicate that the elastic force by spring acts opposite to the elongation x of spring from its natural length. Come on, finish writing. So when one end of an ideal spring is connected to rigid support, and if a stretching force is applied at the free end of spring, then the instant when the length of spring changes by x from its natural length, elastic force exerted by spring is given by Fs proportional to minus x, or Fs equal to minus kx. This equation we call Hooke's law for springs. So in case you need more time to copy this, you can take a pause. I am going to show you the continuation for this. Where k is the constant of proportionality, which is called as the elastic force constant of spring. The next point, the force constant of a spring is numerically equal to the stretching force required to produce unit elongation of the spring. Next, I am giving the conclusion directly. Later, I will show you the working for this conclusion. The work done by the elastic force exerted by the spring when the length of spring changes from L subscript I equal to L subscript 0 plus X subscript I to LF equal to L0 plus XF is given by, come on, finish writing up to here. Those who are writing the notes, please first finish writing the notes up to here. Those who need more time to copy the notes, they can take a pause. So work done by elastic force exerted by spring when the length of spring changes from Li equal L naught plus xi2, L naught plus xf is given by half k into xi square minus xf square. If Li equal L naught and or xi is 0 and Lf equal L naught plus or minus x or xf equal plus or minus x, then work done with elastic force by spring is equal to half k 0 square minus x square or minus half k x square. Of course, we take xi equal to 0 when the spring has natural length at the initial moment. We take xf equal plus x when the spring is stretched by distance x from its natural length. That means if the spring is stretched by distance x from its natural length, xi is 0, xf equal plus x. Then work done the elastic force by spring will be minus half kx square. Suppose if the spring is compressed by distance x from its natural length, then xi equal to 0 and xf equal to minus x. But xf square will be here, xf square must be taken as again plus x square. Xi square is 0 square. So again you get, that means when the spring is compressed by distance x from the natural length, work done the elastic force by spring will be equal to minus half kx square. So in general, when the spring is either stretched or compressed by distance x from its natural length, the last work done the elastic force by spring is equal to minus half kx square. The elastic potential energy stored in the spring will be plus half kx square. Come on, finish writing this. Next, I am going to show the continuation. But I am going to give you the working or proof for the conclusion I have shown directly on the screen. Fs proportional to minus x or Fs equal to minus kx. Fs represents elastic force by spring. dWs represents work done by elastic force by spring. When the length of spring changes by infinitesimally small distance dx, we can write dW subscript spring equal to minus kx dx. That means work done by elastic force by spring. When the length of spring changes from x to, when the length of string changes from L0 plus x to L0 plus x plus dx, it will be minus kx dx. Total work done with elastic force by spring and x changes from xi to xf can be found by the integration. Come on, copy down the working, same thing which I have discussed earlier. I am showing you the working here. Therefore, you get W spring, subscript spring equal to half k xi square minus xf square. Come on, copy down the working. In case you need more time to copy this working, you can take a pause and take your time. So I am going to show you the continuation for this. When the spring is either stretched or compressed by distance x from its natural length L0, then the work done by elastic force by spring is equal to minus half kx square. And the elastic potential energy stored in the spring is given by U equal to half kx square. Come on, copy down this. U is greater than or equal to 0 always. In case you need more time to copy this, you can take a pause. Would like to show the continuation for this. When the spring has natural length L0, unstretched and uncompressed, elastic potential spring is 0. Come on, finish writing. So next I am going to discuss some special cases based on the work energy theorem and elastic potential energy combination and on the concept of potential energy. before I discuss about conservation of energy. Next, you can, after copying this last statement, you can stop writing. Just listen here. So next, I am going to discuss some special cases in potential energy concept and work using and also work energy theorem. Let us consider a block of mass m resting on a smooth horizontal floor, which is connected to one end of an ideal elastic spring of force constant K. The other end of spring is connected to the rigid support. Let us suppose the constant force is applied towards right on the block of mass m, which is connected to the free end of spring towards right. I am going to calculate I am going to discuss the calculation of the velocity of the block during subsequent motion, how to find the velocity of the block during subsequent motion, and then how to calculate the maximum elongation of spring from its natural length. So in the figure shown here, the spring has natural length. Please stop writing. Don't write running notes when I am explaining. I will show you the same case again. I will be showing the notes separately, where you can copy the notes if you are interested to write the notes. But at present, just only to concentrate to listen. So as the mass m is pulled towards right, the mass stretches the spring towards right. As the mass m is pulled towards right, the mass stretches the spring towards right. So the mass exerts a force on the spring towards right. So the force exerted on the spring by the mass acts towards right side. I show a separate free body, not free body diagram, action reaction diagram showing action reaction forces. So the mass stretches the spring towards right. So the force exerted on the spring by the block of mass m acts towards right side. According to Newton's third law, to every action there is always equal and opposite reaction. Here action is the force exerted on the spring by the block when the block is pulled towards right, which acts towards right side. To every action there is always an equal and opposite reaction. So direction of the reaction is opposite to action. So reaction will be directed toward its left. Here action is the force exerted on the spring by the block. So reaction will be the force exerted on block by the spring, which acts towards left side. This reaction was exerted on block by the spring is a conservative force, which is denoted by F subscript S. As I discussed, that is equal to minus Kx. Negative sign is used only to indicate that it acts opposite to the elongation of the spring. So, but when we draw a free body diagram for the block, in the free body diagram for the block, we must indicate only the forces which are acting on the block. Should not consider the forces exerted by the block. Here action is the force by the block on spring. It should not be indicated in the free body diagram for the block. Reaction is the force on the block by the spring, so it should be indicated in the free body diagram for the block. So when the spring is stretched by distance x from natural length, magnitude of this elastic force by spring is equal to k into x, where k is the force constant of spring. The weight mg of the block acts vertically downwards, which also should be shown in the free body diagram for the block. The normal reaction force on the block by the floor acts vertically upwards, perpendicular to surface in contact and directed away from surface in contact. Kept left with the magnitude of the constant force applied on the block by an external agent, which acts towards right. So it should also be shown in the free body diagram for the block. So to find the kinetic energy of the block at any instant during subsequent motion, we can apply work energy theorem. Now see here, how does the velocity of the block change during subsequent motion? Let us suppose the block is initially at rest and the spring is initially in the unstrained state. That means the spring initially has natural length L0. The block is initially at rest and this constant force F is applied on the block towards right. Now how does the velocity of the block change during the subsequent motion? The velocity of the block first increases from 0. Does it increase continuously? Come on, try to think over. The velocity of the block does not increase continuously. The velocity of the block first increases. So as long as the magnitude of the elastic force by spring K into X less than F, the resultant force of the block will be directed towards right in the direction of the motion of the block. That means the acceleration of the block will be in the direction of the motion of the block as long as Kx is less than F. Then magnitude of velocity of the block goes on increasing as long as Kx is less than F. So magnitude of the velocity of the block reaches the maximum value when Kx becomes equal to F. The position where Kx becomes equal to F in magnitude we call equilibrium position, because the net force of the block becomes 0 at the equilibrium position. But don't mistake that velocity is 0 at equilibrium position. The velocity will be actually maximum at the equilibrium position. So as long as the magnitude of the elastic force by spring Kx is less than F, which is constant, the magnitude of velocity of the block goes on increasing. At one particular position, magnitude of elastic force by the spring becomes equal to F. That is the equilibrium position of the block, where net force of the block becomes 0. So at that position, velocity reaches the maximum possible value. So after crossing that equilibrium position, the block does not stop at equilibrium position because velocity is maximum and directed towards right. So it continues. The block keeps moving towards right until the velocity again becomes 0. So as long as the spring is maximum at the instant when the velocity of the block becomes 0. So let us first apply the work energy theorem. According to the work energy theorem, change in the kinetic energy of the block is equal to total work done by all the force acting on the block. That is work done by the constant force F applied on the block by an external agent plus work done by elastic force by the spring plus work done by the gravitational force of the block plus work done by the normal reaction force of the block. Here Wn is the work done by normal reaction force on the block. W subscript small g is the work done by the gravitational force of the block. W subscript spring is the work done by the elastic force by spring. Wf is the work done by the constant force F applied on the block by the external agent. So change in the kinetic of the block is equal to final kinetic energy of the block after the block has moved by distance x from the initial position, where the spring at the initial position spring has natural length L0. Initial kinetic of the block is 0 at the initial position shown in the figure at the beginning. Work done by the constant force when the force acts in the direction of the displacement is equal to product of magnitude of force and magnitude of the displacement. work done by elastic force by the spring is given by, in general, as I discussed earlier, work done by elastic force by the spring is equal to half k into xi square minus xf square. Here initially the spring has natural length, initial elongation is 0. So xi is 0. xf equal to x. Work done by gravitational force of the block will be 0 because the gravitational force acts perpendicular to displacement. Here the displacement of the block is in the horizontal direction. Gravitational force mg acts in the vertical direction. So work done by the gravitational force of the block is 0 because the gravitational force acts perpendicular to displacement. The same way work done by normal reaction force of the block is also 0 because the normal reaction force also acts perpendicular to displacement. So you can write half mv square equal to fx minus half kx square. So this is the equation from which you can find the magnetic velocity of the block at any position during subsequent motion of the block. So the elongation of spring will be maximum at the instant where velocity becomes 0. The maximum elongation are denoted by x subscript m. X equal to xm when v is 0. Please don't write the notes now. You just only concentrate to listen. I will be showing you the notes separately when you can copy it. So x equal to xm when v is 0. Xm represents the maximum elongation of spring. That is maximum possible increase in the length of spring. So substituting these values in this equation, on the left side you can put v equal to 0. Then x equal to xm on the right side. So this you can write half k xm square equal to f into xm. So xm square by xm equal to f by k. So maximum elongation of spring from its natural length will be equal to 2f by k. The same case later will be again maybe discussed in one of the problems in simple harmonic motion also. But at present we are only just discussing the application of work energy theorem for calculation of velocity and maximum elongation of spring. In case sometimes you may be asked what is the maximum speed of the block during the subsequent motion. Speed of the block, as explained, will be maximum at the instant when elastic force by spring kx has equal to, in magnitude equal to f. Or alternately, you can also do the calculus method, MPC students. V square is maximum when d by dx of v square is 0. That we also can do. But here, as I explained, can do without calculus also. The magnitude of the velocity of the block goes on increasing as long as magnitude of elastic force by spring kx is smaller than f. When kx becomes equal to f, the magnitude of velocity becomes maximum. That is at the equilibrium position. After crossing the equilibrium position, kx becomes more than f in magnitude. Then magnitude of velocity goes on decreasing. And at the instant when the spring has maximum elongation, velocity becomes 0. So at equilibrium position, net force of the block is 0. I denote elongation in the equilibrium position x equal to xe. Net force on the block is equal to f minus kxe. That will be 0. Or f equal to k into xe. Or elongation of spring in the equilibrium position f by k. Compare this and this. You can observe that maximum elongation is a spring is double the elongation in the equilibrium position. So if you want to find the maximum speed of the block, You have to substitute x equal to xe in this equation because magnetic velocity is maximum when x at the equilibrium position when x equal to xe or f by k. So to find maximum velocity, in case you are asked to find maximum speed of the block during subsequent motion, you have to substitute x equal to xe or f by k on the right hand side of this equation to find maximum value of v. So the maximum value of v can be denoted by v subscript m. Half into xe you can write f by k. X equal to f by k at equilibrium position. Half k into f by k whole square. So next I am going to show you the notes for the same discussion, so that now you can get ready with your notebook and pen to copy the notes. So I am going to show the notes for the same discussion. So first I am showing the conclusion of the special case 1 on the screen. I have shown you the conclusion directly. Later I will show you the working part. This special case important, you come across some questions based on this special case, not only in work power energy but also in simple harmonic motion later. Case 1, first I read out the conclusion. Consider a block of mass M resting on a smooth horizontal floor which is connected to one end of an ideal elastic spring of force constant K as shown in the figure. If a constant horizontal force F is applied in the block, then the maximum elongation spring is given by x subscript m equal to f by k. Come on, copy down this conclusion first, so that in case in objective type question papers, you may use the conclusion directly. So in case you need more time to copy this conclusion, you can take a pause. I am going to show you the working for this conclusion. So this is a diagram here where the spring has a natural length L0 at the initial position and a constant force is applied on the block when the spring is initially unstretched. On the right hand side, I have shown the free body diagram for the block. After the block has moved by distance x from its initial position, that means when the spring is stretched by distance x. Come on, finish copying the two diagrams. F is a constant force applied on the block which acts towards right. Come on, all of you finish copying the diagram. The free body diagram here, capital F represents constant force applied on the block by an external agent which acts towards right. On the left hand side, K into X is the magnitude of the elastic force by spring on the mass which acts towards left side as explained before. The weight mg acts downward, normal reaction acts upwards. Come on, finish copying the two diagrams. That means the first diagram I have shown the initial position of the block. The second diagram I have shown the free body diagram for the block after the spring is stretched by distance x. So in case you need more time to copy this, you can take a pause. I am going to show the notes continuation to this. That is the working for the conclusion. I have directly shown in the beginning. From work energy theorem, delta K is equal to WF plus W spring, WG plus WN. WF is the work done by the constant force applied on the block by the external agent. W subscript spring is the work done by elastic force by spring on the block. W subscript small g is the work done by gravitational force of the block. Wn is the work done by normal reaction force of the block. Delta K you can write final kinetic energy minus initial kinetic energy. Final kinetic energy is half mv square. Initial kinetic is 0. Work done by a constant force when the block moves by distance x from the initial position is F into x. Work done by elastic force by spring equal to half K into xi square minus xf square. Xi is equal to 0, xf equal to x. WG is 0, WN is 0, I've explained. Or can it half mv square equal fx minus half kx square. That means W spring I have used this formula half k into xi square or xf square. We have taken xi equal to 0, xf equal to x here. So when x equal to xm maximum elongation, v is 0. So you can substitute x equal to xm on the right side to find maximum elongation and put v equal to 0 on the left side. Therefore, you'll get f0 equal to f into xm minus half k xm square, or half k xm square equal to f into xm. Come on, all of you. Finish copying this. So in case you need more time to copy this working, you can take a pause and take your own time. I'm going to show the continuation for this. So you get xm equal to f by k. At equilibrium position, we write x equal to xe, kx equal to f. And net force will be 0, as I explained before. V is maximum. So elongation in the equilibrium position is f by k. Elongation of spring in the equilibrium position of the block. Equilibrium position of the block means the position of the block where resultant for the block is 0. To find maximum speed of the block, in the earlier equation I have shown, that is in this equation, you have to substitute x equal to xe and v equal to vm on the left side. So v equal to vm and x equal to xe. You can substitute xe equal to f by k, both the terms on the right side. So you'll get half mvm square equal to f into f by k minus half k into xe square means f square by k square. This you can simplify to yourself to find the maximum speed of the block. So you get half mvm square equal to half f square by k. Come on, finish copying this working. I don't mean you should remember the expression for maximum speed of the block during the motion, but you should know how to calculate that. So I'm just discussing the calculation part for that. So in case you need more time to copy this, you can take a pause and copy the notes. I'm going to show the continuation for this. So Vm square equal f square by fk. So maximum speed during the motion is given by Vm equal f by root mk. So I have explained the calculation assuming that the block is placed on a smooth horizontal floor. But sometimes you may be given similar situation, but the block may be kept on a rough horizontal floor, and the coefficient of friction between the block and the floor is constant, suppose. I mean, I am discussing the same case again for the situation when the block is resting on the rough horizontal floor. I mean, the floor is not smooth. And coefficient of friction, but the coefficient of friction between the block and the floor is suppose constant, denoted by nu. In that case, again, that means, again we start the calculation from beginning, assuming that the block is initially at rest, with the spring initially unstretched, and a constant force F is applied on the block towards right, with the spring, when the spring has natural length L0. And same case we are discussing when the floor is not smooth, when the coefficient of friction, but the coefficient of friction between the block and the floor is constant, denoted by nu. Then again work energy theorem. That means I am now discussing the same case, that means calculation of maximum elongation of spring from its natural length and maximum speed of the block during the motion from work energy theorem when there is friction, but the coefficient of friction between the block and the floor is constant. Again work energy theorem, we can write delta K equal Wf plus W spring plus Wg plus Wn plus W small f. The last term on the right side is extra term that comes when the floor is not smooth. W subscript small f represents work done by the friction force on the block exerted by the floor. Come on, those who want to copy this, copy this. In case you need more time to copy this, you can take a pause. I want to show the continuation for this. You can take a pause and copy the notes. So delta K, you can write half mv square minus 0 if it is initial at rest. V is the magnetic velocity of the block after the spring is stretched by distance x from the natural length. Work done by the constant force applied on the block, you can write F into x, work done by elastic force by spring as explained. When the spring is stretched by distance x, from its natural length will be minus half kx square. Work done by gravitational force is 0, work done by normal reaction 0. If the coefficient of friction to the block and the floor is constant, the force of kinetic friction will also have constant magnitude. Magnitude of force of kinetic friction denoted by Fk. So you can write half mv square equal F minus Fk into x minus half kx square. This is the free body diagram for the block. After the spring is stretched by distance x from natural length, small f is the magnitude of friction force of the block by the floor. When x equal to xm, there is maximum elongation, v is 0. That means elongation is maximum when velocity is 0. So to find maximum elongation, you have to substitute v equal to 0 on the left side. So half x equal to xm on the right side, you have to substitute. Then we'll get half kxm equal to f minus fk. Or xm is equal to 2 into f minus fk by k. Come on, finish copying up to here. In case you need more time, you can take a pause and take your own time to copy this. I'm going to show you the continuation. But fk equal uk into mg, so xm you get 2 into f minus nu mg by k. To find maximum velocity of the block, velocity here also will maximum at equilibrium position. So I will continue discussion next class.